G'day everyone, Steel Horse here. Welcome to Griffin, Indiana. We are with Kevin and Jocelyn, and as you can see, it's a bit of a wet start to the second half of October, so Kevin's just organising to deliver some milk down to the dairy. That's the plan at this stage. And luckily, so you recall last time we finished the soybeans harvest and got those all in, and he took the decision that he wouldn't necessarily do any more harvest contracts for the season. He's pretty happy with how it's gone generally, but he did notice on the board there were a couple of ploughing contracts, so he's borrowed the equipment to do those, and with this weather coming in, he's kind of feeling pretty good about the fact that he's done that, so it'll be a good way to move forward. We do need to get the weeder going again on our field there, just to get the weeds out of our crop, and probably wouldn't hurt to when we get a chance get the mulcher going on our two fields that we took the soybeans out of. So all in all, there's plenty of work to go on with. He's also starting to think about, because in the next couple of months we'll get to the opportunity to sell all the produce we've got stored up, all the grains and silage and the like. We might as well head all the way up here, and he's thinking deeply about him reconfiguring the farmyard. It's the sort of the first order of business, or maybe the second, along with putting in 2 additional cow pastures. Now, in order to put some additional cow pastures in, he needs to, in that lot that we purchased most recently, we need to take a couple of trees out and make a bit of a road. So that's a task that might fit in if the rain eases off. Can we get through here? We've come the back way, and that probably wasn't the smartest strategy. You might be better served take a bit of a shortcut through the lot here, I think. Where is the... I think it's up that road there. It's the drop point. We'll drop the milk off. Nice little earner. 5.5, call it's just over 6, so that's all good. Now we'll just run round to the store actually while we're here. We've got the auger wagon that we bought, but we can't take that back with us, but we can get these 2 contracts sorted out on fields 19 and 20. So field 19's quite a large one. We've got the Challenger and the long plough for that, and field 20's quite a bit smaller. And if we have a look at the map, they're both near the house, right? So this is our main road back to the house, and 19's that funny shaped field that ends up opposite our one of our soybean fields. So figured they'd work quite well. So what we'll do, and what he was thinking was that the mix of equipment might work quite well also, because the big plough kind of needs a lot of room to turn around, so doing a bunch of headlands with the little plough, and then getting the big guy just working on a set of up and downs on the right angle could work out quite nicely. So we'll see how all of that goes. We'll fold you up. There's that big auger wagon just waiting for us to pick it up at some point. Pretty handy Challenger. One of the other attractions to Kevin of getting this different equipment is that he gets to try different things. So far it's the 9 Series John Deere that he's got his eye on for the next tractor purchase for the farm, but you never know. So let's see here. Can we get our contractors just to follow in a convoy? Maybe we can. Let's turn the truck around. Make sure, can't see any sign of the train there. Make sure everybody's following along. Don't want any big accidents. And with that, it looks like the rains moved on, so that'll help us with our activities once we get back to our place and get on with some of our chores. We'll see if we can get all the equipment up here without too much fuss. We'll leave field 20 for the minute, and let's get them going on field 19 if we can. Let's sort this out. So you are a 6-meter plough. The Convernland that we've got, so 6 meters. If we allow you 3 headlands, but we want you to start in the center with smooth corners and see what you generate for us. I would have liked some longer, but it probably doesn't matter which way we do it. I reckon we probably want another headland. That's a bit better. Just slightly on the angle. So we'll start you on the center. And if we've done 4 headlands on the other guy, 4 6s are 24. So we want to do 5 headlands on this plough. And we'll just get you started. Yeah, because 4 won't be enough. Five headlands on this plough will give us 5 3s. It won't be quite enough, will it? Let's do 6. Generate the fieldwork course. But you're going to start on the headland. And get out of there and off you go. And with any luck, hopefully they won't get too tangled up. They will wait and be nice to each other, he says. We're just getting started. What's really quite interesting here, why are we getting no ploughed text? Well, there's something funny going on. It's ploughing but not giving us the ploughed texture. We are just in terms of real world timing, we've just put on patch 1.9, and my concern is that, as is often the case, more has changed than we realise. It tells me it's ploughing. It looks. Yep. It's showing me ploughed, even though the ploughed texture is not there. So we'll let that run and we'll come back and check on them in a while. But it appears that they're getting the job done. Certainly the contract progress is ticking up, even if the field doesn't look ploughed. It didn't take long for somebody to get blocked. We'll see if he can work himself out. He has. We'll go and get our weeder started. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of equipment now. It all got a nice wash in the rain. Figuring out how to configure this yard and getting a few additional areas of storage is a key activity coming up for Christmas. Pretty interested in getting another larger barn potentially, and some drive-through storage. So there's a few options that we'll explore. Let's get our weeder underway. Just kick you off on the same course you were on before. And you'll progress quite nicely. Lovely. So our canola should continue to do quite well. We didn't put any more lime down, but it's pretty darn close, and the nitrogen levels are fabulous. So we'll check that to top it up in the new year. One thing we do need to do is run some. Oops, we're a bit tangled up on the straw there. We need to run some hay out to one of the cow pastures. I can't remember which one it is. Let's see. Twilight Twilight's not doing too bad. Could probably do with a couple. The home pasture could definitely do with a couple, so that's just behind us. And the one at the other side of the meadow definitely needs some, so let's see if we can grab a couple of bales here. Whilst this works very well, I had forgotten how slow it was across the ground, so just takes a little bit of time to get out to the field, time to sort out and think about what we want to do. So the plan is to run that track is cut across there, down the side here, leave the tree line where it is along the side of the field there, but sort of put the track between the field edge and the trees, and then about third of the way in from the other end, cut a path that will give us access to two pastures that he puts in the back end of the forest. So we'll have a look at what he's thinking about in just a minute. Basically the idea is to put two, well, it looks like we can get a cut off this pasture as well, so that might be a good way to get some more hay sorted out. But yeah, just basically to put two of these pastures with the trough serviced by a single road is the idea. We can potentially head over there on our way back and just have a bit of a look, scout out the land. Doesn't want to take out too many trees. It wants to retain the sort of forested setting. It provides protection from the weather for the stock as well, so that's all good. The Angus seem to be doing quite nicely in this sort of situation. But yeah, the plan's to run the little roadway sort of along here. So maybe we've got to take out this oak tree in front of us. We might just deal with those while we think of it, or while we're sort of testing our way. There's another one. Yeah, we'll get rid of you as well. We can tidy the trees up over the next few months, but at least if we get them sort of cleared so we can see the area we're working with, that'll help. Where's that trunk in there? There it is. He did return the stump grinder that he has leased, so yeah, so the plan's to bring the track along here. Now we probably want to go into the construction view. I suspect this could be somewhere in this sort of area. Let's have a look. Maybe a little bit further along. But if we look at the pens that he's been using that are working quite nicely, these open cow pastures, so they're that sort of width, so pretty much want the road to go in about where that big tree is on the edge, so that's okay. So a straight line, there's a bit of a washout in there, so if we go straight in up to the, what is it, the north that way. But we'll put one pasture that way around. It's hard to see through the trees. And then the space of the road, and then the other one, something like so. And that fits in nicely behind the one that we've got. So that's the plan. So we're going to go in here. If we cut you, that gives us an idea where our road's going to go. And also here, these trees are going to be a little bit awkward to clear. We're actually going south here by the looks. But as you can see, once we get in off the edge, it does open out a little bit. It's only these big trees that'll take the work to clear. Get rid of you also. And we're still cutting in straight here. Let's have a look at our... The hardest thing to tell is, are you traveling in a straight line? We're sort of coming in on this angle down here. We've turned a little bit off. Where's our little washed out? That's the line we want to be on more. So back to these little ones are a bit tougher to clear out. There we go. Get rid of you. Fine dancing around those ones. We might take you off at the edge of the field there. So whilst they're going to need some work, you can kind of see we did cut that tree, although it doesn't appear to have fallen. We've got a little bit of a line in here now. And we can probably get our track sorted out with our gravel. And pop in just to have a bit of an idea of where we're running up to. Make a little bit of a turning. That'll be a marking to work to. Just make sure we stay off the field as we come back across to the edge. It's only the beginning of the process, so we can tidy it up over the next couple of months as we sort of get it developed to the way we want. But that gives us an idea now. So we'll have one pasture that should fit on this side, like so. Yep. So he'll fit there just nicely. And then the other one will go that way around and fit on that side, is the idea. So that's the plan. You can see where we're heading, and that'll look quite good as we thin that out. But for now, let's keep going with our chores here. As you can see, we haven't had to take too many out. And then the plan along here is, in fact, to continue this access road straight through the fence in front of us and up the hill. And we could potentially have a bit of a go at that now. Let's come down here a little bit and ease off. So we want let's try landscaping, demolish that bit of fence, that bit of fence, that bit of fence. We'll leave that one there. And then we want our landscaping tool and our slope tool. We want to finish up on that level there, I guess. So right click there, and then when we make our ramp with using the left click, it gives us a nice smooth ramp up to that level. And we can get our smoothing tool, just smooth off the bumps and a bit of painting. This one might be a little bit of a muddy. Let's put some gravel on there as well. Potentially we might run the road all the way across the back there to the barn, but for now that kind of gets us the connection we're looking for. We could even ultimately put a gate on there. We'll see how it goes, see what we think. But for now, at least, that worked reasonably well. We've got a bit of a lump up there, but we can turn around and get out. That's pretty straightforward. Now we do need to take a couple of bales across to the home pasture there. So can we get two of you out of there without creating a mess? Yes, we can. That's a little bit easier. This is where a bigger storage area is just a little bit awkward, this barn. Finish these guys off. And give that a nudge. It appears to have stuck on the fence. There we go. Let's have a look here. So our home pasture. We're just waiting a couple more months for these guys to reproduce, and then we'll sell them. They can still increase in value just a little bit, but food-wise, they're in better shape. The pasture up the back could still do with another couple we might run up there after. And they're going to reproduce. Just check we've got enough space for them. So we've got 36 and 12 is 48. So there's enough room for these to reproduce, and then next month we'll be selling these ones off. So that's a good place to be. But given that they're eating a fair bit more hay, I think we'll go ahead and make hay in that in the meadow this time around. So now is as good a time as any to head across there with the mower. We'll go and check in on our flowers. They are still progressing. Oop. We've parked the header. We've done the maintenance on the header. So what we might do is put this in the drive-through barn for the minute. It'll be in the way ultimately, but actually we just really need a shed for it. Let's pull it through here. We certainly don't want it outside for the whoops, for the whole winter. But we're just big on equipment, short on storage now. And we're fully fueled up and maintained on the mower, so we can head across. I think this, when we sell the straw, we'll get rid of that shed and put some sort of drive-through storage in the middle of the yard. And then some park equipment bays on the sides. And down we go. And off we mow. If we do the headlands ourselves, we can not worry about courseplay for this worker and just get a regular worker going up and down. The maneuverability of this John Deere is such that it's a really easy device to operate. As long as we start it on the right side, it won't run over and mow our canola crop. One day this area over here is another option when we don't own the land in the tree line there, but we might one day in the future to be able to grow the cattle pens into the bushland there. So we'll just do one more lap. So we know from past experience, oops, what are you doing? Here and that. That this plough really only likes to turn left, and unfortunately that creates a bit of an issue. We probably should have put it on the headlands going anti-clockwise, to be honest. Hopefully, if we stick you on the nearest waypoint, you might... No, you're still on the right line. That's better. It ploughs fine. It's just a little bit problematic in terms of turning under course play. So, meanwhile, we're 20% of the way through, so it's not a disaster. Let's have a look at what the other, how far through his headlands he is. Are they actually going to meet? No. He's getting a fair way through. What's his course look like? Looks like he's got 2 more headlands to do. So we'll leave them to it. So I left the mower going. It will need the second headland at this end of the course in order to be able to turn, so we'll make sure we deal with that now. And the other thing that it'd be a good idea to do before we forget is the maintenance for the harvester. Down with one more. Doesn't take long to mow this field, and it gives us a really good yield of hay off it. Which we can either bale or put loose into the let's just get you lined up. It's probably pretty close. There we go. We can put it loose into the silo. Make it a bit easier for us to just distribute it rather than having to manipulate the bales. Let's back you over and get some maintenance done. One idea he's actually raised with Jocelyn is to get quite dramatic with the setup and raise the prospect of would she like a nicer, slightly larger house. And with that in mind, they did that. He'd potentially move it further along the ridge. So, now of course his motivation is less about the house, but yeah, just move it further in that direction over to the right. Still keep it on the high ground, but just create a little bit more space to put a bigger barn or a shed on this side of it. So we'll just have to wait and just see what he decides. Definitely need some places to put things, so we might just bring the harvester in behind the tree here for the minute, off our turning circle. And that means we're all cleaned up, ready to go for next season. Now we need a tractor. Which, while we're doing it, we'll whack some fuel in. And we'll stick the mulcher on. And let's go get the twilight field mulched. Oh, looks like we might have run out of fuel. I might have to order some more of that. Not surprising, hasn't been paying too much attention. We did use a fair amount with all the harvesting we were doing. So it's not surprising we're a bit low. But from next month, we would expect some of the opportunities to start selling our stock, to start selling our crops to emerge. So that's the plan. And this is a job he quite likes doing. Just unfold. There we go. Pretty dusty, mind you. But it just feels like the end of the harvest when you just mulching the stubble in. We'll just run a headland back across there. So while the mulching's happening, we can just get the tedder out and running on the grass that we're cutting. Good job for the ridge track. Let's see here. Let's cancel the clause out of there. Work with, there's 2 headlands. Start work on the headland. Generate the course. That'll do. And hey, it is. Lovely. Let's go check back in on those plows. I don't trust them. This Challenger is proving a challenge. Needs more supervision. What are you doing? Just switching sides. We might leave him to figure it out himself, as it looks like, with any luck, the Vultra is on its last headland, and so we can go and tackle the field next door, because this Challenger is definitely too big for field 20. And Whereas with the Vulture, we should whip through it fairly swiftly, I think. And as you can see, when they're both working, they get through a reasonable amount of the field. So it's just the challenges of this combination of the Challenger and the Kverneland plough just needs wide open spaces and needs to be turning to the left. So ideally a big square field and just running headlands is the best proposition. Interested to see how it goes at this end. I think it turns all right down here. No, it does not. So probably what it means, let's kill its course. Let's put 6 headlands on it. Now, let's turn you on. And start you back where? Which way are you going? Like so. See if that does a little bit better. Just give it a little bit more space on the ends to turn. But 6 6s are 36, so that means we need a couple more headlands on the other guy as well. Although, let's see how he's going. Let's stop you. You're almost down the bottom here where I want to turn you anyway. Yep. Looks like there's a culvert there just to make life interesting. We can't go that way. We won't go with the cross-country route. No point in, you might be looking out the farmhouse window. Won't want to see his bright shiny Vulture and a fairly handy plough bobbing through the drainage ditch. Let's turn you around. Pop you down. It is a bit annoying that we can't, it's really hard to see the plough texture now. I don't know what's happened with the patch, why that changed, but there you go. It's a bit of an awkward shape, but once we get a couple of headlands cut out here, we'll get a break it into a couple of sections, and it shouldn't take long to knock this out. In fact, what we'll do is continue straight across here. So So we'll do this right hand end and we'll come back and do this square last. But we're already 5% of the way done on this field. Let's just pop you up. There we go. Good idea to keep the vehicles out of that ditch, I think. So that's where we might leave it for today. Trundling along, quite like this Vulture. It's very nice to drive and maneuver, quite responsive. Pulling the 3.3 meter plough, so what's that, about near enough to 12 feet. It's handling that quite nicely. But we might leave Kevin here and he can supervise. I'm sure these ploughing contracts will finish quite comfortably. The weeding is almost done, and we'll be in a position to pick up that hay next time. So until we see him next time, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay safe, have fun. See ya.